on
give it
to...
Joanne?
yeah, moving down to item
We don't
5.
know, but
Joanne, your turn. The next item on the agenda is property reevaluation project status update. And you can see a quite lengthy package in your
Yes.
in your folder.
it was just that way you want to run.
Okay, as you can see in your folder, I made a new reval schedule. I thought it looks a little bit clearer than the one that Bob had originally prepared. So currently, I think we're right on target. We have, Bob has a letter, which is, Hilbert has a letter they sent. What we're doing is Jennifer is coming in, and Kathleen was coming in. She's no longer coming in, but Jennifer will be coming back in. We're pulling files. We're going onto RPS, which is our system, and making sure all the spaces are filled in properly, which will make it easier, of course, when we run the values. So we're about 85 to 90% done with the town files, and then I want to think that we're at least 40% done in the village. So we should be done with that process, I would think, within a month or a month and a half, depending on Jennifer's time. And also Doug and I talked about if John is slow, I will take John Carey and put him doing the same thing that Jennifer is. Then going to the photos, John has...
Sure. The gentleman that's heading this whole thing up, Mr. Hilbert, he's coming in on the 28th and the 29th?
Correct.
And he's going to...
Well, I'm sorry, yes, he is coming in, and there's a couple of things that we need to discuss. Is one, that we're talking about a public meeting, so we need to decide what kind of date we're going to do that, so not to interfere with other things that are going in, such as in November, we mail out all our exemption packages to everyone that has an exemption. So, you know, there's 400 ags that go out, exemption packages, all the Enhanced Star, all the H exemptions. Any exemption out there that has to be refiled every year goes out in November. So I don't want to have the things cluttered together. So I was kind of thinking that sometime in October, probably, you know, mid or third week of October, that we could have a public informational meeting. And at that time, I will invite the state to come, which will probably do some kind of presentation, and of course, Mr. Hilbert will.
But the fact he's coming down the 28th, 29th to discuss all the status, look at things,
correct,
and make further plans going forward.
Right.
Okay.
Now he goes on online,
sure,
you know, at least weekly, if not more than that. When I spoke with him today, you know, he said everything's looking good that we've put in so far. The photos are coming up and across that you can see. So all the things that we need, all the data is being cleared up, all the vacant lands that we're missing sites. I've been working on, you know, in between doing other things I'm doing. So, you know, everything's getting cleared up. That's we need to have done for the rebound.
Good.
So John is busily taking photos. The county had a problem that they now have been able to clear up. There had to be some kind of a patch between their systems going into RPS. So they were entering by hand the first group that John, the photos that John had done, which was the 538 photos, I believe. Anyway. So now we have the patch, and Kathy came in today from the county to download into their little machine to take it off to have it put into RPS. And we have approximately, as John says here, 977 photos left to take, and some of those photos are ones that maybe he was too far away, or maybe there's, trees and leaves and stuff in the way, or some of the people might have to notify to get permission, because if it's too far back their houses, to get permission to go in and just take a front photo. So that's what we have remaining.
But he's taken 2,523 of the 3,500?
Correct.
Okay. Now, does that include the village and the town?
Correct.
3,500? Okay.
Right. We have approximately a little over 5,500 parcels, but that includes the vacant lands, which of course you wouldn't be taking photos of.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
So the next in your package is just a little summary, and I just, I used a highlighter to let you know how many parcels are where,
Right.
in what villages in the town. And the last thing in your package is the data mailers, which we will be sending out in October. I think after the public hearing meeting is when we'll do this. So we'll send them out, before I send out all the exemption packages. And then this is just a copy of someone's property. The first page just explains per state law we have to have that. And then the next 2 pages is a description of the property. And if the person disagrees, they can correct it, sign it, and then we'll go out and inspect to make sure that we have all the information correct.
So if there are missing a bathroom or this or that, they write
Right.
down the
Sure,
proper
or
number.
if we have them down for half bag more and they don't have it,
Right.
they'll just circle it,
Okay.
put down what it is and sign it, and then we'll make an appointment with the
So this gives every citizen an opportunity to
make sure
help
they're
get their property.
right. They can participate in the reevaluation.
Reevaluation. Right.
Wow,
Sounds good to me.
a lot of work.
So, anyway, so as you can see, we're right on target as far as I'm concerned.
Now, help me out again, for the few people in the audience. This reevaluation is done using the computer network versus, if we have to go out and take photographs of the property, we have to inspect some property, but it's distinctly different than those in the past, where we go out and look at every property and we pay tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do so.
Well, we will be looking at the property.
Yeah.
However, we're not out there remeasuring and
Right.
re-inspecting the
Right.
interior of the property.
So it's considerably cheaper.
Right.
And then the real goal of this thing is that every year we reassess with the computer so that we have current assessment versus one that's 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 years old in between.
Right. So
Okay.
that our equalization rate should stay
Always be at 100.
at 199, whatever the state does. But
And how many in New York State, how many communities have this? Do you have any idea?
you have a lot of upstate communities that do, reevaluations every year. Downstate, Westchester, Rockland, they tend not to do it because there's usually a huge shift from the industrial commercial onto the residential property, so they don't wish to do that.
But in Orange County, I think it's the city of Newburgh, are they not? They're the only ones who use this system so far? And they were strongly encouraged by the county to go to this system.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Any questions for Joanne?
The public hearing that we'll have probably sometime in October, as you said, is that gentleman going to be here for that?
Oh, yes. Yes, Mr. Hilbert will be here, and then I also will contact the state. John Willem, who is in Newburgh, he's our rep for the area, and Carol, got her last name, but, I'll get some people from the state to also come to answer questions that the public may have.
Yeah. Now, what I'm used to in public hearings is you have a public hearing, you hear from the public, and then the board has to act in some way, shape, or form. in this particular situation, we're not acting. This is
No, no.
truly
Just
This is
information.
information.